Well Rooted is brought to you by Gerard and Associates CPAs. With locations throughout Los Angeles, Gerard and Associates has been guiding entrepreneurs and creatives towards realizing their dreams for over 20 years. Discover how they can support your vision at gerardcpa.com. Hey, it's Haneen. Welcome to another episode of Well Rooted. Today I'm joined by Palestinian filmmaker Rolla Selbak. On today's conversation, we talk about her upcoming project, The Visitor, about Safina Filmmaker Project, and about navigating Hollywood as a Palestinian filmmaker. So without further ado, this is Well Rooted with Rolla Selbak. Hi, well, welcome Rolla Selbak to Well Rooted. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Rula, yeah,
Selbak?
yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Perfect. I'm so glad to have you here. I've been following along for a while, and I actually want to start with your upcoming project because it's really exciting and it's really interesting, and I just want you to tell us all about it. I just want to start there because it's such a cool idea,
Thank you.
a very cool concept. So please fill us in.
Yeah. First of all, thank you so much for having me. And so The Visitor. So
Yes.
it's a movie that's upcoming. So we didn't shoot it yet.
Yes.
So inshallah, the plan is to shoot it next year.
Okay.
Early next year. And it's if you are you a fan of like horror movies at all?
Okay.
Do you know
What's
the movie
really
Get Out?
okay, believe it or not,
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it this weekend. I've never watched it
Yes.
because I'm usually not into horror.
Yes.
But when I was reading about this, I'm
Yes.
like, this resonates differently.
Yes, that's
So,
the point.
yeah.
That's the point. So it's the first ever Palestinian horror movie,
hmm
and it's called The Visitor, and but it's really based in like our Palestini like folklore, so like in our folk tales, right, about the
Yeah.
Houlis and whatever, and so it's about a young man named Karim. He lives in Al-Quds in Jerusalem. And he's trying to save his family from this mysterious Ghoulie, this mysterious entity that is erasing the memories of the people around him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gonna sound silly, but I never realized roule was like a real thing. I just thought it was something my mom would say, so I'd brush my hair. Like, like how Arab moms are like, you look like a roule, go brush your hair.
Well, actually, yeah. I mean, so is it a real thing? Is it not? Obviously, it's folklore, right?
Right.
So it's folktale. So the so it is very much, and in fact, it's actually pre-Islamic. So
Okay.
the whole idea is in Palestine. In fact, each village and each area has its own kind of folk tale.
hmm
So sometimes the Roule in a certain village, might be more mischievous. One might be more evil. One might be more benevolent. Like, hey, if you give her your jewelry, she will, give you kids or something like that,
Oh,
right?
wow.
So each village has its own, and it's really interesting. What was really interesting to me is exploring like our folk. To your point, we've never seen our folk tales
No.
anywhere, right? We only
Yeah,
hear about jinn, right?
exactly.
Because that's what we think Western audiences will understand.
hmm
But if you go deep into our culture, like, oh my gosh, this is so rich and interesting. And to your point, it's even used colloquially, right?
hmm
And in fact, the word ghoul, like ghoul,
Yeah.
Ghoul from English, is taken from ghoul from Arabic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where they took it from. So so we're gonna take it back.
We're reclaiming that word.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's all good. Sharing is caring. But anyway, so the point is to really make a film that is compelling, that is talking about the ethos. The ethos of the film is that life under an occupation is scarier than the monsters in our folktales.
Wow.
So who's the real monster here, and what's going on? So that's
There are so many layers to this already. I'm so excited to watch this come together.
thank you.
When did you first, because I from what I've understood that it's been a process just to get this film made. Can you kind of walk us through that process?
Yeah, so I actually dried the ink on the script at the top of January 2023. So
Mm,
that's when I was wrote it because my mom's side of the family is from Al-Quds, from Jerusalem.
okay.
My dad's side is from Sheikh Amr. Um, and so what was happening in Sheikh Jarrah like really, really affected me because I
hmm
was almost like reliving what happened to my teta and what happened to my family. And you're just watching these houses and these homes and these families be literally displaced, replaced, and thrown out.
Yeah.
And it was just so blatant.
Hmm.
Um, and to me, it was a horror. Like that is a horror. Like imagine someone just coming in and just taking your home and kicking you out, and it's your home. so
Yeah.
so it really affected me, and I was wary of. I tend to make a lot of like character dramas and things that are more kind of on the realism side,
Hmm.
right? Cinema realism, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make something compelling. I want to make something bold. I don't want this nuance. I don't want tiptoeing around. I don't want this kind
Hmm.
of maybe this character, this character is let's make sure they have something good, and so, let's make sure I don't want any of that tiptoeing. I wanted something compelling, something bold, and something that wasn't just that just felt like a documentary, that didn't just feel like, hey, we're just going to watch a documentary now.
Hmm.
I wanted something more compelling for audiences, not just for us, but for like worldwide. And so that was the ethos. And so when you look at movies like Get Out or like Parasite,
Hmm.
I'm like, wow, you can talk about really, really deep things in these types of horror and thriller films. Um, but you can also do it in a compelling way that audiences worldwide can kind of
Yeah.
really connect with.
Yeah. And to your point, nothing is scarier than what's actually happening in Palestine right now. And to kind of, yeah, to just have this other story taking place within those real life horrors.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a testament to that, the quote that we often say where we are more than our suffering. And it's like, but during our suffering, there's also so much else that's also going on. Like there's still life that is being
Yes.
lived.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I love that you're sort of placing this really groundbreaking look at something that audiences here have never really learned about and placing it in occupation,
Yes.
basically.
Yes, exactly. And and
Yeah.
and it's interesting because like I said, I wrote it at the beginning of 2023.
Mhm.
That's when I finished the script. And so when I tell people it's like, "Oh, it's a, Palestinian folk horror, it's like a Palestinian horror or whatever." They're like, "Oh, like bikaffi, like isn't it enough? Like we've seen the horror on our screens." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Please, I would never ever put our trauma on screen as like trauma, excuse the phrase, like trauma porn or anything like that." And
Mhm.
so people immediately, because of the genocide that happened after I wrote the script, people automatically assume that it's about mish glorifying, but how about glorifying
I
what
see.
happened, the genocide in Gaza? But it's not at all. It's actually based in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And it's about this family, and it's about like being erased and memories being erased, and how do you fight that? You know what I mean? When the monster isn't who we think it is, you know?
Yeah. No,
So,
this is very intriguing, and that's really exciting. And I saw you're gonna be filming in Jordan.
inshallah, yes.
Inshallah. Okay, that'll be an adventure. I hope you document as much of it as possible because I just want like the behind the scenes as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Actually,
Yes. Totally.
that's two stories in one that
There you
we are
go.
getting.
There you
But
go.
no, I love the idea of incorporating something from our folklore, introducing it to the world. I think it's so smart. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So it's getting, from what I know, it's getting executive produced now by Watermelon Pictures. What has it been like kind of getting them on board? And what does it mean for you as a Palestinian filmmaker to have them on board?
First of all, big shout out to Watermelon Pictures. They've been nothing but supportive ever since like day dot. Like even early drafts of the script, like Munir Atallah from Watermelon, um, giving us great notes. Just really, really being. I mean, they were champions of the film even before they came on board. And there's only a few trusted people I have ever told about the film before we announced it,
Okay.
and it was them. And so they've always been champions of not just my stories, but of Palestinian stories in general. They really understand the business side of things as well as the creative side of things, and that's what we need. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? We don't just need, oh, we're doing this just for, you know, charity for the filmmakers or whatever. You want to make sure what we want to do is make sure that us filmmakers, are also held to a high standard.
Yeah.
Not just, hey, green light a movie just because it's about a certain topic. We want it to be excellent. We want it to be excellent, just like all other international films are excellent. So, so they really helped in pushing and elevating, making sure that we were there in terms of the script. And yeah, so they came on board just 2 months ago.
Hmm.
Signed the official executive producer deal with them. But like I said, they've been like with me like the whole time. So it's just been it's really it hits different um when Hollywood is has not only rejected me and people like me, but has also villainized me and people like me,
Yeah.
right? As you know, I was famously dropped from the big talent agency I was with, which is
Hmm.
CAA. And so it's just been really empowering to be like, you know what? Fuck them. Like we don't need them. Why? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Why? What do they have that we do not have? In fact, they need us more than we need them
Hell
in
yeah.
2025,
No,
right?
absolutely. Exactly.
They're trying to mine our stories, take our stories, our trauma. You know, you see it right now, by the
Hmm.
way. Them slowly, like with all the success that films like Palestine 36 have had, All That's Left of You, Shireen Debus's movie, you know, of course, The Voice of Hind Rajab. Like, as Hollywood is seeing the success of these movies, they're like, oh, maybe we want to we want to be involved. And I'm like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So I just love this idea that we have such powerful Palestini talent, by the way, from all in this for this film, all over. So from Al-Quds itself,
Hmm.
from the diaspora, from Gaza, from inside historic Palestine 48. The idea is that we put all of our you know, iconic Palestini talent into a film like this and really show the audience what we can do.
I got goosebumps just hearing about this. No, that is such a great point. And I want to get back to like that moment of, when you got dropped from that agency, because I think there's a lot of layers to that. But to your point as well, like there's something to be said about, and I'm sure it's a much more rewarding feeling for you as a creative and as a filmmaker to be like, this is actually all Palestinian made and I don't need you guys. And to hold yourself at such a high standard, that's what every Palestinian needs to be doing in all corners of industry. And I love that because I actually saw something online earlier of Chef Fadi Katan, who's a Palestinian as well. And he had made a point saying, I don't want people to celebrate our cuisine just because it's Palestinian. Our cuisine is already excellent on its own as cuisine, period. And that's basically what you're echoing in terms of film. Like this film is already excellent, period, because you're an excellent filmmaker and everyone part of it is going to make sure it's excellent, right? Regardless
Yes.
of whether other
A
people agree or not.
100%. 100%.
No, that's so empowering to hear. And just to create that space like Watermelon Pictures is doing where like we're investing in our own people who do amazing work. It's so important right now.
Yes, yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree. Yeah. And so yeah, I يعني inshallah ya Rab, you know, I think no matter what, it's something at a minimum, to your point, I hope that it shows other Palestini creators out there um that we can do this.
Mm,
We can do this. And there is I always say there will come a time when they're going to come to us. But guess what? It's already happening. That's what I'm trying to impart on people. Hollywood is becoming less and less relevant. People are going less and less to the movies. And yes, you can blame COVID for accelerating that. But the
yeah.
truth is, it's because they are becoming less and less relevant to the culture because they are A, recycling stories that they've done before,
Yeah.
and B, pretending and ignoring what's happening in life.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing this up. We are going to pivot really quick because this has been like eating at me, and I know it's eating at you. I know it's eating at everyone that has, two brain cells. Like you cannot create art and ignore what's happening in humanity. Your art, that's an insult to art, first of
Yes.
all. You're not creating anything. And a really great example of this is Sydney Sweeney, who just bombed like her fourth film in like a year or something. And I'm like, as she should. Okay. I don't know anything about this woman. I just want to preface this. I don't know anything about her. All I know is like she's been accused of being very right leaning and very racist and kind of like dismissing herself of participating in humanity. A lot like another artist named Taylor Swift, who thought she can kind of get away with not participating in humanity and still produce some sort of groundbreaking form of art, which she's done in the past successfully. But I think it really is a testament to no, you actually can't. You
Yeah.
can't ignore what's
Yeah.
happening. And you as an artist, I'm sure, like, what would your advice be to other artists that think that they can kind of go through life in that way?
I mean, here's the truth. The truth is, I understand. I understand that art. I understand that art isn't. Art's purpose isn't just, hey, document what's happening minute by minute. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about art reflecting life. And
Hmm.
when we look at art, when we look at art throughout the ages, throughout the centuries, we study it, whether it's paintings, whether it's sculptures, whether it's movies, whether it's podcast episodes. We're studying it because, we want to be compelled and we want to be, taken somewhere, but also we want to understand ourselves. We want to see ourselves in it in some way. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any escapism, right, in art. Absolutely, of course there should be. Um, but I think the problem is that when you are now beyond an artist and when you are a culture maker, right, like someone like Taylor Swift is, or
Hmm.
even someone like what's her name? Is it Sydney? I want to say Sydney Sweeney, but is that right?
It's Sydney
Oh,
Sweeney.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I keep thinking of Sydney. The way my brain works, I think of like Sydney Sweeney Todd. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So my point is, when you are presented as a culture maker, and by the way, I'm going to name someone who I hate naming because she really was an artist that I actually loved very much. Beyonce is another good example. I know,
I
heartbreaking.
never missed
I
a
know,
tour,
I know.
but I
Same,
can't.
same,
But I
same.
never like I've from
Yes,
Houston. Like I like just grew up like
yes.
absorbing Beyonce and Destiny's Child. Like it's
Yes,
so.
yes,
But yeah, please go on.
100%. And again, she again was not just, hey, a music artist you just turn on. She was a culture maker, right? And
Hmm.
so what does that mean? That means you're speaking to the culture, you're of the culture, and then you're pushing the culture to another boundary, and we're all kind of going with you. And by the way, I'm not into celebrity culture at all, but there is something to someone who's speaking to a moment. So
Exactly.
when you see like the Formation tour and when you see what she did with that, and when she's talking about even with Hurricane Katrina and her like highlighting what was happening there.
Or her
um
Super Bowl, like the halftime performance.
yes, the halftime
Yeah.
performance, Super Bowl, all black women, all like it just, I mean, you can't, like, it was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
But then now something else happens in culture and you're completely silent. Now then it's an act. It's not just, oh, I'm neutral. You are actively ignoring. We see it.
Yeah.
And so my point is that then you become irrelevant. And I think that they're all becoming and gonna become irrelevant. And those that are actually speaking up, or not even speaking up, but like at least nodding to what's happening in the world,
Yes.
not just Palestine, but even what's happening in this country, even what's happening in Europe and South America and Africa.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, to your point, this country, the one that are
Yes,
living in, like, how can you just
yes.
not care, not, as you said, like, nod toward to it? Like it's happening.
Yes, 100%. And again, yeah. So they're not doing themselves any favors. And I think we're all learning very quickly. We've learned that like celebrity culture is just another one of those manufactured kind of
It is.
things. But yeah, inshallah, we keep pushing on and keep understanding the value of art, and of real art and real
Hmm.
culture and what speaks to us, and just using our attention and our buying power as a way to signal what we love and what
Hmm.
we are not interested in anymore. So,
100%.
yeah.
And I think that's a good point because a lot of people think it's just about money, but it really is your energy as well. Don't give your energy to someone who doesn't want to even acknowledge your existence or doesn't even want to acknowledge what's happening in the world.
100% attention. And
Yeah.
by the way, our attention as human beings is the most valuable commodity. That's
Yeah.
why all these corporations are literally spending billions of dollars to achieve it.
Hmm.
They want to acquire it. They want to colonize our attention, and they think that they could spend billions of dollars doing it.
100%.
So just, I want everyone to think about how powerful we are in that sense. They want us to believe that we don't have the power and they have the power and we are powerless. But it's the exact opposite. They are fully dependent on our attention in order to even keep going.
Yeah, that's such a good point. And it's like people are not realizing they have that power.
Yes.
I mean, going back to Taylor Swift, everyone's complaining about the album. I haven't listened to it, but everyone's complaining about it. It still broke records and she still sold
Mm,
$3 billion.
mm,
People are complaining about Kim Kardashian opening stores in Israel, but it's like you guys are still giving her that platform and the attention and sort of like this blind following. And it's
mm.
like, do you not realize that you have like this intentionality behind everything that you do, and you can kind of pivot it towards the causes and people and businesses that you want to support.
Yeah. I think the issue is that the way that specifically the system, this capitalistic system, and I don't like using these big words, but it's not big words. I don't like using these academic sounding words
Mm,
because it makes it seem as if like, oh, it's some sort of academic theory and you just throw but what I'm talking about maybe is this individualistic consumerist way in which we are living in the West,
mhm,
and which has also invaded a lot of West Asia, North Africa, especially West Asia. This idea that we are individual, we are only single. All I need to care about is myself. How much can I consume? How much can I get? Right. And so you take that and you turn it into the fact that now people feel like it's just them, like they are alone. There's no community. There's no,
mhm,
you're not part of a collective. It's just me and my home and my car and my this and just me. I want this, me, I, right?
mhm.
Um, so so I think then people then assume, and I've heard this a lot, not just with whatever Kim Kardashian's product is. Is it that face thing? What does she do? I actually I
Yeah,
feel so dumb.
it's like
She wraps her face in
lingerie.
something?
Uh,
No, what's that face
Maybe.
wrap?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I blocked that whole family,
Yeah,
so I
me
don't
too. I'm
even
like, I don't
know.
know what she
I'm like,
does.
she's opening stores.
Skimmies,
Okay.
skimmies, skivvies,
Skims.
skims. That one.
Skims.
Well, I just felt like my mom. Anyway, uh, I forgot. Oh yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is that people now that consumerism and capitalism has successfully made us feel alone and singular and not feel like we are part of a collective. It then means that I hear this a lot, which is what is me not buying skimmies thing gonna do? What is one person gonna do? If one person doesn't buy a Coke, if one person doesn't go to Starbucks, if one person, you know, doesn't get that McDonald's fries, like what am I? What is my power? I have no power. So what? I go get French fries. Is it gonna really make a difference if I boycott Disney? Is it really gonna make a difference? So because of this individual feeling, it makes us feel like we are. At first, it made us feel like, wow, we can get anything. We can in America, we are free to consume anything.
Mhm.
So we think that that's freedom because I can buy anything I want. I am free. But that is exactly what's enslaving you. It's making us feel like we have no power. It's making us feel like, oh, what we thought was powerful. Oh, I could buy anything. It's like, wait a minute. What if it's just me boycotting? What if it's just me not getting that Coke? Like, is that
Mhm.
really going to make a difference? And then so it allows you to quickly ignore. It's like, well, I can't make a difference anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna live my life. Da, 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 da. So it's really disconnecting us from each other. And I think what we're doing now and the work that we've been doing is not just educating people about Palestine, certainly, but I think we all understand that it's much larger than Palestine. And
Mhm.
what we are doing is connecting again, connecting with each other, being there for each other, educating each other, supporting
Mhm.
each other, and we need it now more than ever, like more than ever. So yeah, we are a collective. I want people to understand the second we wake up to understanding our power, khalas, it is
Yeah.
over over for them.
100%. And it's so amazing I know for me, I didn't feel like I had such a community. Like I had friends and I had family, but I didn't feel like I was part of a community. And I feel like, if anything, October 7th and the aftermath and this genocide has kind of brought us all together to at least search for one another, to work with one another, to learn more. I mean, the learning I've done, even as a Palestinian, has been, tremendous. And so I can only imagine for people who had no idea of what was going on. And to your point earlier about this sort of isolation, you're 100% right. And I think part of my stomach's growling. I think part of the thing that sort of contributes to that too is I just remember growing up and always hearing, you don't talk about politics or religion. And
Mm.
it's like, what's the one topic that both of those topics lead to? Right. And it's like, but you avoided it. But people were
Yes.
scared to
Yes.
ever attack either one of those topics
Yes.
in any sort of social setting. And
Yes.
it prevented people from really talking about things that matter.
Yes.
And it's like now everyone's scrambling to figure out what's going on.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's like, well, you could have just talked about it.
100%. I also do blame the fact that these institutions, these like mainstream institutions, have been feeding the public what to think for a very long time. And when you only have one source of, let's call it nutrition, one diet that you're being fed over and over and over and over, what else are you going to know? You know what I mean? Um, what else are you going to know? And so now we've all woken up, especially because of social media. It's like, oh my God, like what have we been fed this whole time? And it's just because they owned these institutions.
Mm-hmm.
They've owned cable channels, they've owned the news channels, they've owned the media, they've owned
Education.
education. I heard, by the way, the episode with you and Alana as well. That was very, very
Oh,
important.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You all talked about education a lot, especially in relation to Jinen's
Oh,
book,
yes,
right?
her
Children's
book.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent book.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then also I know I read something where you've mentioned you've been offered jobs like to for films like to write about terrorists, like to write about a terrorist or give us, what, like, how are you approached like that? And like first of all, the audacity to approach you, to ask you to work on that at all. But like, really, what is that conversation like? And how do you handle that?
Never underestimate the audacity of white America. Never, ever. It is just that audacious. So the good example I give, well, let me answer your second question first. It's like, what was like, how do I respond to it, or how do I
Mm-hmm.
navigate it? How do I? Um, there's no navigating anything. I just say no. There's no navigating. For me, there's no, maybe if I do this and if I write for this show and this character, maybe I can make a little influence. Yes, it's a terrorist, but maybe I could make it, make humanize this terrorist, or maybe I can make small changes here and there. Absolutely not. I'm very clear about what I will and will not do, and I think that's that's another reason probably why CAA dropped me. They're like, we don't know what the fuck to do with her. Like, we thought we could tokenize her and we can't, so sorry. And in fact, she's becoming a little dangerous now with what she's saying online. So we're gonna have to like disassociate. That's what I think happened. And so an example I give is so the way that they approach is usually they try to appeal to your ego first. So the agents say something like, oh my gosh, like they really want you. These people really want you for this project, right? So they say, oh, they really want you, And in this case, I'm going to give, it's like they really want you because you're Palestinian, right? Because you're Palestinian. They're looking for a Palestinian writer in this writer's room. So, of course, and this is on email, by the way. So it's all documented. Don't make me share receipts. So,
She's ready.
yeah. So it's like, oh, they really want, no, Palestinian, writer in the writer's room. I'm like, oh, cool. I immediately, my dumb self, even though I had been in the industry for like years, I'm like, finally, they said the word Palestinian in the email. So I'm like, oh, is this a Palestinian show, or like maybe an Arabic show at a minimum, maybe something, maybe. So I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. I said, okay, great. Can you tell me more about the project? Like, yeah, we have, but maybe best like for us to get on the phone or get on, whatever. Let's just talk about it. So that was my first inclination. I'm like, wait, what is this? What? Can't you just send me over materials? Like, what are we talking about here? And then come to find out, of course, that it's this Israeli show. Israeli. I'm not even talking about, and I'm talking about it's set in Israel. Like, And it's about this. It's about the specific case I'm giving example. I'm giving. It's about this man, and he kind of is a double agent, Israeli double agent. He has a family in whatever Tel Aviv or something, and then he's also like infiltrating the a Palestinian family. And what they wanted me to do, literally verbatim, harfiyan, is to really focus on the Palestinian terrorist characters, specifically the wife of the terrorist himself, the son of the terrorist, who's not sure if he wants to become a terrorist or not. Um, and to humanize, right? To really
Mm,
humanize them, and to really try and put a little like shade, on these
mm,
characters. And so yeah, in writing, I said, I will absolutely not be perpetuating this. Please let me know if you have a Palestinian project. That's it. There's no line. There's no
yeah.
like a blurred line. I don't care. I never cared. I came to Hollywood thinking that, hey, maybe I could bring our stories to Hollywood. Maybe I could show characters they haven't seen before. Maybe I could finally let us shine on screen, show people what's possible, finally have people that we can connect with on screen and on a specific level. That's why I came. I didn't come to Hollywood for fame or to sit here and like have my ego rubbed just so I could go like write a terrorist character
Mm-hmm.
of my people. That's not what I'm here for.
100%.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's so funny because you're just talking about people realizing their power. You clearly already realized your power, like long before, to be able to just know yourself and know that that's not even an option for you.
Yeah. I thank you for saying that. I do appreciate that. It's interesting because I think at first I gave much more grace to people, especially maybe before the genocide, like especially after 9/11, before the
Mm,
genocide. I gave grace to people who thought, whether they're behind the camera, in front of the camera, who thought that they could make a difference. Hey, yes, I know I'm playing a terrorist on Homeland, but maybe I could show something beautiful about my culture.
mm,
I give a little grace there because just of how devastating it was for Arabs and Muslims in the US for a long time. But now, after this genocide and after the whole world is waking up, I give zero grace to anyone. We should not be doing this. I am
mm-hmm.
flat out telling you. And yes, and I don't, I hate judging, and I'm a person who really tries not to judge at all. But now you have no excuse. You cannot do this. You should not do this. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear, oh, well, then they're going to hire someone else, they're going to hire someone, I don't know, someone who's not Arabi to play someone Arabi. And so what? Let them. Then they'll
Yeah.
look like fools. Everyone knows now.
Mm-hmm.
I want Hollywood to understand that you cannot hire a Arabi, a Muslim, a Palestini, a brown person, uh, uh, and us represent ourselves in a way that's not authentic to us. I'm not saying, oh, always make us a good person. I'm saying that's not authentic to us. I want Hollywood to know they can't do that anymore. And yes, they're going to go have to dig at the bottom of the barrel to find someone who's not Arabi, not Muslim, not brown, in order to achieve the story factory that they continue to
Mm-hmm.
perpetuate.
No, I love that you said that. There was this film that came out a couple years ago, um, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't even remember what it was called. I never watched it. I just remember seeing like the promo for it on social media.
Oh, it's based on the video game, right? Was it Prince of Persia?
No, that's also super
Yeah,
problematic.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that's super problematic. But it was basically he was in the US military in somewhere in the Middle East, and he gets left by his comrades, and then someone who native to the land, presumably Arab, basically takes him, home, like carries this man, the white man, on his shoulders,
Oh my
takes
God,
him home to his
please,
wife, and like
please.
they treat him and they become BFFs. And then when the Arab man's, and then I guess wife goes missing or children, then Jake Gyllenhaal, who is the white man in the film, has to like go back because he's like, I have to save my brother and his family. And I'm like, that's crazy. But I was like, let me like, and I remember searching the actor because I didn't know who the actor was that was playing alongside him. And I'm like, oh, maybe because tan, and I was maybe he's Middle Eastern. He was like European.
Yes, exactly.
He wasn't even anywhere near like the region, and I was like, this is stupid, and I'm glad your film failed.
Exactly.
Because people see through that.
Yes.
Even before the genocide and like
Yes.
educating themselves, people just see through it, and like, and people are smart now. Like audiences are just smarter than before.
Yes.
But and then you made a good point earlier about theaters closing and people just not going to the movies anymore. What do you attribute that to besides COVID then? And you know, to bounce off of that, do you think things will change in the future?
I think there's a few things going on with that. I think I mentioned COVID accelerating it, but of course we were
Okay.
going down that route anyway. But I also mentioned the irrelevancy of Hollywood. It's becoming more irrelevant. So what it's becoming is before what Hollywood, like if we all might remember in the 2000s or 2000s and 90s, let's say around 90s, 2000s, right? Movies were our cultural moment. So it wasn't just, hey, we're going to go have fun. Yes, of course, there are lots of fun movies, but it was also where we were going to consume culture and to be part of the culture, to create, to feel like we're in a cultural moment together, right? And I think because it's becoming less and less relevant, it's creating zero cultural moments. Where are the cultural moments happening? On social media by user-generated content. That's where we feel like we belong. And what movies have become, a lot of movies have become these kind of, I'll put it in the background when I'm folding laundry. Yeah, sure. What's on? What's a? And of course, a lot of that is also attributed to streaming. So now you have streaming. So now it's become this like, do I want to go to the movie theater? And if it's not compelling enough proposition, I'll wait for it streaming. Is it free on streaming or do I have to rent it? I'll just wait. So it's becoming this afterthought because, like I said, it's not culturally relevant. Audiences are getting their cultural moments from social media. And Hollywood is scrambling. Instead of understanding how to pivot, I actually give this example, which is the Superman movie. The Superman movie was the first superhero movie in like 2 years that was a success.
Wow.
And because there's such superhero fatigue, right? You know what I mean? And why is that, right? It's because it was talking about something culturally relevant. And yes, it's doing it in a fantastical way and and who, I don't, obviously the filmmakers can sit here and say what they meant and didn't mean, or it's about Palestine or not, it's about immigration or not. They can say that all day long. I'm saying, look at this data point about what got people out of their seat and into the movie theater after 2 years of superhero movies like bombing.
Yeah.
So I think that right now is the most perfect moment for independent film, is the most perfect moment for filmmakers to not be afraid, to be brave with what they want to say, how they want to say it, to be creative, to not just give audiences what, the freaking like slop that's being recycled over and over and over in Hollywood. Audiences want something different and they want to feel like they're part of a cultural moment. And this is the perfect time for filmmakers and creatives to create that cultural moment.
Yeah. No, that's so motivational. And I hope people take note of what you just said.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Hope so. Because there's like, my point is like, instead of just going to the movie theater as a passive act, we are now going to the movie theaters, right? Like when we look at some of the Palestinian movies that have been released the past year or two, and I'm trying to think of other such movies, not just Palestinian movies, but let's just focus on Palestinian movies for now. Those screenings are not a passive sit, consume, leave. It's an experience. It's a cultural experience. It's a collective cultural experience. We are together. We're experiencing. There might be Q&As. Oh, I get to talk to the filmmaker, see what they were thinking, talk to other people in the theater, see what they thought, talk. So that's what the new movie theater experience to me is going to be. And that cannot happen with Hollywood movies because they have no fucking idea how to do that. But we as filmmakers and independent creators know how to do that. So this is our moment. I really do feel this is our moment.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you really have to just jump on the momentum, like to
Yes.
those that want to join like what you're doing and really help move the conversation forward.
Yes, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. There is an audience there. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll watch your movie. We'll support you. Yeah,
I have to make it first.
yeah. But when did you first realize that that I'm sure, you probably enjoyed film and making film and being creative, but when did you actually understand that I can use this as a way to really move the cultural conversation forward?
When? I think, it's interesting because I think where I started from was that I wanted to make films and characters that were, the way that I like to say it is that push the envelope a little bit, but that unite audiences at the same time. That's really what I've been trying to do since I've been making films and documentaries and other things. I think I love that feeling. You know what I love? My favorite feeling is not just, hey, audience, like as an audience member, just sitting down watching a movie, like, oh, that was a cool movie, or like, ooh, that was an interesting movie, or like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But of those characters, especially characters or the story, but let's specifically the characters sticking with you for a long time. For these characters to mean so much to you because they spoke to something inside you, or because they express something that you hadn't seen expressed before that you feel connected to. It's such a feeling. I can't tell you. Like, I know we had this feeling, like, if we think of these TV shows and these movies, right, especially in the 90s, 2000s, a little bit 2010s, but like even the movie, I'll give a dumb example, but like the movie like Titanic,
Mm-hmm.
we're still talking about Jack and Rose. We're still
Yeah.
talking about that movie, and it's not just because James Cameron is an excellent filmmaker. But there's a reason why we're talking about Titanic and we're not talking about the characters in Avatar.
Mm.
Same filmmaker. And it's because I feel like we have really, because of technology and because of like, oh, IMAX and 3D, and I don't know what, AI and like graphics, like I feel that filmmakers are thinking that audiences just want a spectacle. But you see time and time again, audiences don't care as much about spectacle as they do about a character that'll stick with them for like months or even
Mm-hmm.
years. That's what they really care about. If it comes with a spectacle, amazing.
Right.
But it's not necessary. This spectacle is not necessary. It's just added, but it's not necessary. So I think for me as a filmmaker, that's really what I've always loved, and that's what I always wanted to bring forth to audiences. It's like trying to bring characters and stories that really really get to you, that really stick with you, that make you think about it and that are with you in life. So then they become your companion almost, like, oh, that character, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, for people who watch even TV shows, especially because we're with those characters for a very long
Right.
time, like they just stick with you. You're like, oh, I don't know. I think it's just so special and it's so powerful and it's something that I've loved doing. And I think I didn't realize that you could really do it until Robert Rodriguez and the whole American indie film kind of
Mhm.
renaissance in the late 90s. That was when I'm like, oh my God, if Robert Rodriguez can do it with like $7,000 and whatever, I can figure out how to do it. So
And you grew up in Palestine, as you mentioned earlier.
I didn't grow up in
Oh, you
Palestine. I
didn't.
grew up in Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
But
My family's from
you're from
Palestine. Yeah,
Palestine, obviously. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And so you grew up in Abu Dhabi. Did you grow up going to the movies there?
I grew up in Abu Dhabi at a time, like now it's very different, but I grew up when there was no real, you didn't go to a movie theater, right?
Yeah.
But there was a, a store, a dukkan called Al Kamal next to us. And you would go there, you'd get a dirham, like hummus sandwich.
Okay.
And then you'd flip through this folder of movies and TV shows,
Okay.
and you'd point to the ones you wanted.
Uh-huh.
And they were all bootleg. So, if they didn't have the movie or TV show you wanted, they'd go copy it from somewhere and be like, hey, come back in 2 days. And
That's so funny. I mean, it's still kind of like that in a lot of places, to be honest.
That's right. So that's how I loved movies, I love TV shows, and um but not only American, certainly very much American. That's like you can't deny like the power of American movies and TV back in the day. Now very much not. And its effect on our lives,
Hmm.
both positive and negative. Um but also like the masrahiyat, the musalsalat, the Ramadan programming, we'd get that too. And so I really, from Lebanon, from Masr, from from Syria, of course, very,
Yeah.
very, very important, amazing musalsalat from there. So I loved all of it, and it all meant a lot to me. And so when my dad came home with the like this big VHS camera, like the size of my head, I was like 8 or 9.
Hmm.
I immediately hijacked it and like would dress up my little siblings in like funny outfits, and I make music videos and you know movies and whatever commercials, and I'd edit it right. I taught myself how to edit like from like VHS tape to VHS tape, how to cut, even though it's just like
Wow.
literally, yeah. I would study, like I'd watch movies and TV shows and be like, oh, wait a minute. If this person's looking at an object, if you have a scene of, if you have in the frame a character looking at something, and then it cuts away to that thing that they're looking at, let's say a glass of water or something, I was realizing, I'm like, wait a minute, those don't need to be shot in the same room. It's like a trick. It's like a trick. And then so you start understanding like, oh, how to cut. If someone's running and then they turn the corner, you could just get that angle from the other side and it'll cut actually nicely. If someone jumps over. So I started trying to study, wait, how do these scenes edit together? And then I tried to do the same. And of course it's like ridiculous and no one will ever see anything I've done since I was like 10 or 12. But that's how I taught myself how, yeah, I started studying it at a very young age.
Would you say your parents always knew you would be a filmmaker?
I don't know if they knew that I would be a filmmaker, but they definitely knew I was a nerd. So, but also they're extremely supportive. I always say my mom was my first like director of photography. She actually shot, Allah yarhamha ya Rab.
I see.
She actually shot was the person behind the camera for my first short film called Never Give Up. I think I was 11 at the time or something, and I got my school friends, and I just took a weekend, and I wrote the script about these like three
Wow.
orphans, and I don't know what, and so my mom, I'm like, okay, and so I acted in it, and so I'm like, okay, mom, like this is the thing, and I put the tripod in, and I'd be like, okay, mom, like press record, and when I say this line, you press stop, like, so yeah, she was my first DP, yeah,
That's so special.
it is.
I mean, there are so many Arab kids, I want to say, like, whose parents just want them to take a very traditional path and might not be as supportive, but they definitely saw the spark in you and nurtured that. That's so important.
Thank you. Yeah, I give them full credit. I give them full credit. Now, it did help that like I said, I was a very, very big nerd. So, grades was just as important to them as it was to me. So, I have a feeling like if my grades were not good, then
Hmm.
they would be like, "Okay, you been sit down and study and شو بدك بهالشغلات."
Yeah,
So, I
yeah.
think they trusted me because I knew that there was this kind of contract where like as long as I got good grades, it's totally, they will support me no matter what. So
Yeah, that's very Arab.
it is,
Just
and
always
I
get the
love
good
it.
grades.
Wallah, I love it. I,
No,
I would have it no other
honestly, like, I look
way.
back and I'm like, when you're younger, you're like, dang, my parents are so strict. And
Yeah.
now I look back and I'm like, wow, I'm so thankful that, they were so strict and so, like, just like we're very disciplined in how they approached school
Yes.
and all of that. That's so important.
100%. And I understand, by the way, there's a spectrum. Like it
Hmm.
can go into being
Yeah, of
toxic
course.
versus helpful versus yeah, being helpful. I understand that. But I think in general, I really am thankful for the structure and for the discipline that we were taught growing up. Yes, you can do your filmmaking, you can whatever, but you also have to show that you're responsible,
Hmm.
and that you're trying your hardest in everything you're doing. See, it really was about trying. It's not just hey, getting good grades, but trying, like really giving it your best was something that I learned from my parents. It's like no matter what you're doing, yes, you may not get 100% on this test, but you have to try and you have to commit 100% to something that you're saying you're committing to.
Mm-hmm.
Which you need in filmmaking, by the way.
Yeah.
It's definitely a marathon. It's not
It's a
for
long
the faint of
process,
heart,
huh?
dude. It's not for the faint of heart at
But
all.
I'm sure it'll be well worth it, inshallah,
Inshallah,
once it's all complete. And then you're probably gonna move on to the next thing.
yeah. Inshallah,
Wait, I
inshallah,
read
ya Rab.
somewhere that really quick. I read somewhere that you grew up watching Shady Han.
Yes! How did you know that?
I read.
What?
I do my research. One thing about me, I'm gonna do my research.
Yes.
But that stuck out to me because one of my earliest memories is watching Shady Han. Like we had the VHS tapes
Yes.
in our house, and I memorized like every like routine and like every
Yes.
song, and I just was like so mesmerized. And I don't feel like she gets enough credit,
100%.
like in Arab culture.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And I want to note that it's crazy that it's been decades since Shiri Han did that Ramadan programming.
Yeah.
And me and you are sitting here talking about it. You see how much it sticks with you. It means something to you.
Yeah.
And I don't think Hollywood can make anything that means something to anyone anymore. Very rare, very, very rare. And I think we're all just looking for meaning. Really, we are. And the fact that we're talking about Shiri Han, who hasn't done it like decades ago.
No, Shady Han walked so Haifa could run.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like if you don't know, now you know.
Thank you. I'm just saying, like, there's a meaning to it. It's not just frivolous.
It is so meaningful. And it's like something that does stick with you because it really, like at her time, it was unlike anything else happening anywhere.
Yes.
Anywhere.
Yes. And by the way, I have to say, she made Ramadan cool.
Yeah.
Even though, of course, I understand that, like, hey, people might have something, hey, we shouldn't be singing or dancing in Ramadan or whatever. I understand that as well. But I think in general, she made it like, what? Like, Ramadan is like lit. Like,
yeah.
this is the place to be. Like, I don't know. And then she was like really talking, just showing things about culture and like folk tales. Speaking about folk tales, right? Through her like hazurat and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was so special. And
then the costumes and like the hair, like it was just a full production.
Yes.
And it was just so like magical to watch even as a kid. Like it meant a lot.
Yes.
And I don't think people, like if people are not Muslim or Arab and they don't know about like the Ramadaniyat or like I would say like the Arab like entertainment industry for Ramadan is like so, I think, captivating. And it's something like the entire region looks forward to.
Yes.
Muslim or not.
Yes.
And it's so meaningful to people. And I don't think people outside of, our culture know about that.
Yes. Yes. 100%. And I think Shiri Han was the one who started it all.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah.
I
mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. I can't think of, when I say Shiri Han, I mean her program. Like, I think it's the one that started like, oh, wow. Like, we can have programming specific in the season and it can be, reflective of the season or for the season, whatever it is. Like, and I really do think so. I could be wrong about it, but I don't think I am. I think that's really what kind of catapulted this idea of Ramadan season essentially on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, one last thing, you have a really cool project, Safina Filmmaker Project. Tell us really quick about that.
Yeah, it's an initiative I started in 2024, and it's a free initiative for Palestinian filmmakers to help raise their voices through artistic mentorship. So we do free workshops, that run the gamut from like writing, directing, animation, free script analysis. So, sending your script and us giving like feedback on this professional feedback on the script. And then we just launched our fellowship this year. So 5 Palestinian filmmakers across, like, some from the diaspora, some from Dakhel 48, to give, to help make their films and to, give a little bit of a award in cash for them to do that as well. Because the idea is to really, it's called Safina, like boat, right, or ship. Like the whole point is to like, for all of us to kind of lift each other up and to learn from each other. And that's why I literally call it liberating the knowledge. Like, why should it be gatekept behind Hollywood? Like, how to make a film, how to pitch a film, how to this, how to get a producer, how to raise funds. Why should Hollywood be the only one who knows how to do that? So that's why I say I want to just quote like liberate the knowledge and share with everyone, just like I hoped and wished someone would have shared with me when I was coming up.
Exactly. No, that's honestly what it's all about. And kudos to you. That's an amazing initiative.
Thank you.
And I hope this reaches the right audience. And
Inshallah.
if Palestinian is trying to get a film made, they know who to go to.
Inshallah. Yeah, please. Yeah. www.safinafilmmakerproject.com or Safina Filmmaker Project on Instagram.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
what does being well rooted mean to you?
Being well rooted means understanding who I am and understanding my line of integrity as a person, as an artist in this world, understanding the responsibility that I have in who I am and how I show up in the world, and really always checking myself and making sure that I am committing myself to this life the best that I can.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. This has been a pleasure. I've learned so much from you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Well Rooted. If you enjoyed today's episode and felt it brought you value, please subscribe, leave a comment, give us a like, and a review. This episode of Well Rooted has been brought to you by Gerard & Associates CPAs. With locations across all of Los Angeles, Gerard & Associates has been helping entrepreneurs and creatives make their dreams come true for over 2 decades. Go to gerardcpa.com to learn more. This is Haneen, and we are all well rooted.